Okay, let's dive right into this. If you've been paying literally any attention to tech lately, you know we're living through an absolute explosion in generative AI. I mean, it kind of feels like overnight we were just handed this entirely new way to talk to our computers. But to truly grasp the sheer magnitude of this revolution, we really need to look back at how conversational software actually evolved to reach this incredible tipping point.
So let's start right at the foundation. The whole concept of a chatbot, or as they were originally and honestly kind of charmingly called chatterbots, isn't actually about complex math. It's really just about creating a digital entity that you can talk to. The entire goal, right from the start, was always to simulate a back-and-forth dialogue, basically functioning as a virtual conversation partner.
Now, because of the massive hype cycle we're in today, it's super easy to assume this is all a brand new invention. But the truth is, various sorts of virtual assistants have actually existed for decades. They've just been quietly operating in the background of the digital economy, mostly in customer service and support roles. I mean, think about those automated customer service bots you've probably argued with over a billing issue, right? We've all been there. Those early interfaces were functional, sure, but they were highly rigid. They relied entirely on strict pre-programmed rules and really simple decision trees.
Now, what's really interesting about this is just the sheer scale of the leap between these eras. It is staggering. We went from literally decades of those limited script-following support bots straight into the 2020s, which brought this absolute deep learning boom. And that was the catalyst. It took the fundamental, kind of mundane idea of the chatbot and just injected it with a completely new technological paradigm. It completely hurdled us away from those pre-programmed responses and straight into the modern AI era.
And that boom directly fueled what we now call generative AI, or Gen AI, and brought it straight to the masses. Just look at the heavyweights driving this revolution today. You've got ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Grok. These absolutely aren't just virtual assistants trying to reset your password anymore. These are wildly sophisticated models capable of complex, nuanced, and honestly, highly creative dialogue.
So the crucial point is really understanding what's actually powering these massive platforms under the hood, and that is large language models, or LLMs. If the chatbot interfaces the face, well, the LLM is the digital brain doing all the heavy lifting. It's the foundational technology that absorbs just massive amounts of data, using pattern recognition to actually understand the context of what you're saying and formulate a completely coherent response.
So how does this engine actually work in practice? Let's break it down. First, developers leverage deep learning on massive data sets. That's step one, the bedrock of the whole thing. But here's the catch. A raw model just spits out text predictions. It needs direction. And that brings us to step two, which is fine-tuning the large language model. This is where they actually train the model specifically to act like a helpful assistant. And finally, once it's fine-tuned, we reach step three, generating text. The model can finally fulfill its ultimate purpose, acting as a highly advanced, completely seamless conversation partner. We've obviously moved incredibly far from those simple, rigid scripts to these sophisticated Gen AI platforms powered by fine-tuned large language models. So I really want to leave you with this to think about. As these LLMs inevitably continue to advance, how will these digital conversation partners change the actual future of human interaction? What really happens when the entity on the other side of the screen becomes literally indistinguishable from a human being? It's a fascinating evolution for sure, and we are still just in the very early chapters here. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring the incredible world of generative AI.